So we're going to learn a little bit of the Kamarna on parshas Chayei Sarah. Kamarna has a wonderful pirush on Mishnayos called Ma'aser. It's very hard to get a hold of. Super difficult to get a hold of. I haven't managed it yet. And it's a very interesting little commentary. He sometimes has his little points that he makes, sometimes he has these somewhat bigger points he makes. And Kedarka B'Kodesh, as usual, sometimes very Kabbalistic and, not too helpful unless you're going to translate it into Avoda, but sometimes when he talks, like, when he says something that's clear, it's super powerful, as always. Super, super duper powerful. One of the reasons why I especially like to do Kamarna is because I noticed, and I was happy to see this in the Rebbe Shechter actually, that it's very similar in many ways to Breslov. Very, very similar. It's not exactly the same. He's saying it in his own way, his own signon, but it's very similar. There's actually another book that's somewhat similar, though it's in its own way. It's the Beis Avram of Slonim, because he was way after Rabbi Nachman. As one friend put it, he said, it's so too much quoting Rabbi Nachman, so either he had the books on the table, or his teacher had the books on the table. But the Kamarna was at the same time, and he says in his own signon, it's his own style. So he just, somehow it came down. It's a pele. It's like somehow it came down, and you'll see this week, maybe next week also, be to see a little bit interesting things that are similar. There's certainly similarities. So that's one of the reasons why I like to learn it. I mean, we started learning it because Morgenstern is very, very into learning Kamarna. And he says, Kedai, if possible, to learn every day. And I, of course, learn Kamarna every day, except that I don't. But I'd like to learn Kamarna every day. Let's put it that way. It's a very beautiful, very powerful chassidus. So, beautiful stuff. So, actually, the Kamarna, one of the things Morgenstern said about the Kamarna is that the Kamarna brings chassidus closer to the Kabbalah. So, the Chal brings Kabbalah closer to chassidus, and the Kamarna brings chassidus closer to Kabbalah. So, actually, so the Kamarna in the Ma'aser Orig says something very, very interesting about the burial place of Sarah. What happened with Sarah's burial place? So he said, Abram bought Mars Pelo, very, very pricey, very expensive price, because in order to bring about this reality that it will have Kedushas Eretz Yisrael, and he says a Chiddush. He says it had Kedushas Yisrael for everything. You could have done the mitzvahs of Tluis Baras, which is incredible. Chiddush L'chayra, you only did mitzvahs of Tluis Baras when Klal Yisrael is Kovesh. So you want to tie in? No, he bought it so that was Kiyul Kfisha of all the Jewish people conquered that part of Eretz Yisrael and made it. It's a big Chiddush. It's not a simple thing to say. That it could be. I don't know. It's a tremendous Chiddush what he's saying. But B'chol that's what he says. He says it was Kedushas Eretz Yisrael. Now Marabali says something similar. He said, I think it's preparing. He has a whole discussion of this weird exchange with Ephron. It just seems very odd. I still remember someone, this was like a long time ago, when I was in yeshiva, and the guy was asking me, in post-high school, I guess it was, and the guy was just asking, he's like, what is going on with Ephron? He says, oh, it's free. And he's like, oh, I'll pay you. He's like, oh, great, pay me. It's like, what's going on over here? You the 400 shekel kesef. Oh, wonderful. So I was like, what do you mean? This guy was like a con artist, a rip-off artist. He was like an expert, conner. And like, Avram Avinu was like, no, he was like, oh, sure. Like whatever, he wasn't, and Avram understood that he didn't mean to give it to him for free, because it's a very strange exchange. He's like, oh, I'll give it to you for free. Avram's like, no, take it for 400. He's like, okay, fine, but great, best money, no problem, go for it. Let me count the money. It's like, it's very weird. You imagine someone's like, I'll give you this gift for $1 million. He's like, no, for free. He's like, no, I'll pay you the whole $1 million. And I was like, he's mashma. He said, what? 400, what's the big deal between us? Who cares? So I was like, he's never sincere. That's how I thought it was the shot. On a simple level, that's true. But Ramad Vali says something very, very deep here. He says, this was Avram trying to rest free from the Sitra Achra, this wonderful place in Mars Pele. He says, not only is it the Kedushas Yisrael, it's also the place where the Neshamas go to Gan Eden. It's a very powerful place, like the Zohar says. I think in the Bereshis, if I remember right. Very powerful place. And first of all, he was, the Sitra Achra didn't want Avram to pay for it, because when you pay, free is like you don't get much of a shlita on it. That's why the Zohar says it's better to pay. Free is the other side. Everything's free. If you do anything, you don't have to spend any effort. You don't have to, it's all, no problem, whatever. And then you get whatever. That's the problem. So Avram wanted definitely to pay. So Ephraim, because he was channeling this bechin of the Sitra Achra, So he wanted to give it away. So Avram shouldn't have such a koyach to make it the Kedusha Yisrael, or at least potentially to be able to have the Kedusha Yisrael, to own it for eternity. So he's like, no, take it. It's fine. It's foreign Kedusha, but take it. It's like there's this tension happening. It's like under the surface because Ephraim was channeling this Inyan. You know, Nussin says Ephraim. That's his very name for the Zohar. That he didn't see anything. All he saw was a coin. People sometimes in life they don't see what's really special. Avram Avinu was incredible ore. And of course, the Zohar tells us a whole story about Avram Avinu. When he went to Shechta Bakar for the angels, so he ran after the Bakar, and it went to Maros Machpelah, and he went in, and he felt such an awe and a kedusha, and he was able to see the neshamas of Adam and Chava, that they were there, whatever was there. He was able to take contact with them, whatever's left, and nefesh, whatever you want to say the pshat is. And he said to Adam, I want your permission to be buried here, my wife. Adam Rishon is like, no way. No way. He said, bad enough. I messed up with it to das. Now everyone says these Bnei Adam, they're all messing everything up. We have a mabul, we have a this. What's going to be? Like, I'll have you here and like compare and contrast this big tzaddik who never messed up and this guy who blew it and messed up the whole world. No. That doesn't help me. I'm not willing. So I was like, no, I will be poil. From now on, they'll be known as Bnei Noach, not Bnei Adam. Because he blew it after you. He could have, he wouldn't have had that wine, he would have brought the gula. He had the wine, he went after it, whatever it is, so I'll be poil. Adam Rishon is like, okay, if you're poil, let us become Bnei Noach, I'll let you be buried here. So now it came time for him to buy. So of course, why is he looking for Dafka here, this person and Dafka? He felt this tremendously powerful ore. There was a powerful aura in what's going on here. And he imbued within it the Kedusha of Noretz. So the Kamarna takes this and he says, that explains a very enigmatic Rashi, very odd Rashi later on, very odd sounding Rashi. That when Yaakov is talking to Yosef and he's explaining, why didn't he bury Rachel? Why didn't he bury Rachel in Maros Machpelah? So he said, well, it's very interesting Rashi. Rashi explains there, that was it. She died on the road, and I buried her there, right? I didn't even take her to Beis Lechem la'achnisa la'oretz. He said, I know you had something in your heart on me about this, but no, that I knew Hashem told me to bury her there, so that she would help the Jewish people when they left and passed by there. Rachel goes out and she cries, very famous, right? And asks Rachamim from Hashem on the Jewish people. Kol B'Ram Nishma. Kodesh Baruch Hu says there is reward to what you've done, says Hashem, and the children will return to the Gvul, to their borders. Fine. Yeah. So what's this lashon? It's a very odd lashon. Loi halachtia afila beis lechem. Yaakov says, I didn't take her to Beis Lechem. Lachnisa la'oretz. To put her in the oretz, in the land. Well, where did you put her if not in the land? So the Sifsei Chachamim says, well, oretz means a yishuv. There was a normal place. Weird. It's like in the middle of the desert or whatever it was, in the middle of, the wilderness. I'm just burying her there. Oretz means a normal inhabited world. But the Kamarna says no. Yaakov was saying the part of Eretz Yisrael that Avram Avinu had imbued with Kedushas Haaretz. I couldn't put it to Eretz Yisrael. I put it wherever because I had to. Milpia Dibur. Very, very powerful, beautiful pshat in Rashi. That's pretty deep. That's amazingly. I really enjoyed that. It's Takashver Rashi. It's a good pshat. That's what he tells us. That's the power of what. That's the koyach. That's the koyach of what Avram's purchase from Ephraim was. And again, like the Zohar says, this Indian of getting from the Sitra Achra. They didn't have, you had to buy from them. You have to pay for it. And the Ramad Valley about he wants to rest it out and dafka to pay. Dafka to pay kesef mole. Pay kesef mole. And there's an Indian to be able to use things the way they should be used, to be able to access things the way they should be accessed. And there's an end of like trickery almost, of learning how to like, there's an end of figuring out how to make things happen the way you want them to happen, the way they're supposed to happen, and make the ticket. It's not always so easy to be straightforward. Sometimes the easy way, mostly, like Mr. Sham says, the easy way is not the right way. I'll just end with the stories of quick stories of the Panovich Arov. The Panovich Arov one time he would like to go to South Africa. There were a lot of people from his Lita. There's a Panovich club in South Africa. I heard from my father. So there's a whole situation there. People, they raised money, they helped him. So it was a very wealthy man who met with him in South Africa, and he told him, listen, I'm happy to give you money for yeshiva. I will build yeshiva. But I don't want the people in the yeshiva to wear yarmulkes and tzitzis. I'm not into yarmulkes and tzitzis. Not my thing. I'm not religious. So can you accommodate me? Or not? He's like, sure. Give me the money. Yeshiva without yarmulkes and tzitzis. He's like, really? The guy's like, all right, maybe he has more progressive. I don't know. He took the money, he built it, and he invited the man to come to, see the, beginnings, like whatever, or the final, come and dedicate the holy, right, this special yeshiva with Ayam, because it's this, and he found that it was a girls' school, so he was a little bit miffed, but it doesn't have yarmulke and tzitzis now, does it? So okay. He's like, now one rabbi will even teach you, no problem. So no yarmulke, no tzitzis. He said students, so it doesn't matter. But which way, one way or the other way. So there was another person from South Africa who also the same Indian of like, he wanted to get the money, but on his terms, and say, if you're not on my terms, he said, listen, I want to give to an institution, to a situation where boys and girls, men and women are together. I don't want separate. He's like, no problem. Gave him the money, and he dedicated a cemetery in Bnei Brak. He's like, men and women can be together, no problem, no worries. There's an Indian of sometimes you have to like rest it out. Again, like the Ramad Valley explains with this whole thing of Ephron, that there are nitzotzim that he has to redeem and he has to figure out. He has to help this person be mazakim to give the money the way he's supposed to give the money, but it has to be in a way that he knows how to do it in the proper way. Just like Avram and Ephron, that our Ephron is like, take it, don't take it, and he will pay him, don't pay. I'll pay you and everything good. Like, you have to sometimes use this weird to understand between the lines what you need to do min hashamayim to make things work, and sometimes it's got to be a little bit. This way and that way and the other way, whatever way possible, that's the way you need to do it. That's the way you need to make things happen. Be'ez Hashem, Hashem Bezoche, Mikdusha V'Eretz Yisrael. And this is one more thing, I'm sorry, I forgot about the one other thing is that again, this is also similar to the way that Rav Nosson in general explains. Right, it's also from earlier, it's from this idea of right, that Rav Nosson, the Rebbe, this idea of you have Yerida. You always have the klipa before the pri, like the Zohar says. And that's the bechina of the 7 nations that came to Eretz Yisrael before the Jewish people were able to redeem it. We had a dafka have it. They shouldn't say you're thieves. It's not that we're thieves. Hashem gave it to you because there's a process of having the shell before you get into the real tafki, the reason for the thing. So you guys were the shell. Now it's time for us to come. That's how he explains. But it's a very similar idea of like imbuing the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. Now he imbued the kedusha. He kind of rejected and bought this part of Eretz Yisrael to be able to redeem it from this big klipa called Ephraim.